Hey everybody! So today we're going to do part 2 of our series for You're Going on an Archaeological Dig. Today it's going to be like clothes and bags and head stuff and sunglasses, stuff like that. So pretty much all the things you're going to wear while you're on your trip. Now obviously before you go on the trip, like I mentioned before, you probably will get a list of items that you should bring for your dig. Again, because mine is more oriented towards the Middle East, it's probably a good idea that you follow whatever it says on your guide, because you might need different things. Like if you're going to an area that it rains often, you might need rain boots, you might need different boots than what I suggest. So just kind of go by that, but kind of keep this in the back of your mind. So the first thing that I'm going to say is for sunglasses. So I just have a pair of cheap sunglasses here. Put them over my glasses. Cool, right? Yeah. These were free sunglasses in a magazine I got when I was in my layover in London from Cosmo magazine, so these are free. So if you can, bring at least like 2 pairs of sunglasses with you. I wouldn't necessarily recommend bringing your expensive sunglasses, especially because you're going to need a pair that you're going to take in the field with you. At least in our area, it was very, very sunny there, so it's pretty much required that you have some sort of sunglasses with you unless you had like a hat that was covering your eyes. So I would bring cheap ones for that. If you want nicer ones for when you're not on the dig and you're just out and about, you can do that. But again, it's not always, the nicest place. You might want to just, bring a little bit cheaper ones with you that still look nice. Just go like to Target or, just, get free ones in a magazine if you can. So I would do that, but at least bring 2, because you never know. You might, lose them. They might break while they're on the dig, or who knows, they could get crushed in your luggage. So bring 2 with you, sunglasses. For jewelry, I don't have any specific jewelry with me, but when you're actually out in the field, having necklaces or, chokers or anything like that, I wouldn't recommend, just because they could get caught in things and your tools. If you have something that you have to wear, like some people have a certain necklace, or my roommate had her boyfriend's dog tags, he's in the army. So if you have something like that, just make sure it's inside of your shirt and it doesn't come out and dangle, because again, it could get caught on something and then, it could cause you damage. For earrings, I just have, like, right now I have a little bit fancier studs in. I don't have anything in my first holes, but if you're going to wear earrings out in the field, wear studs, or just, don't wear earrings at all. I wouldn't recommend wearing hoops of any sort, especially while you're out on the dig. Again, you never know. Something could get caught on something, or you just never know what's going to happen with those. So I would wear studs. When you're out and about in town, I would bring a pair of, nice earrings with you, or if you buy some while you're there, maybe a pair of hoops or some dangly earrings, for when you go out, or a nice dinner or something. So maybe bring like a pair or 2, kind of just depending how long you're going to be there and how often you want to change them. For necklaces, when you're out and about, you can have necklaces, obviously. Again, it just kind of depends on your taste, what you want to bring. I know some of the girls brought like bib necklaces and like really nice earrings, and you can do that if that's what you like to do. Just kind of maybe beforehand find out if you're going to be going on any really nice dinners, or if there's any nice spots that you can go to, and then you can kind of, pick from there depending on what your clothes are and how much room you have in your suitcase. Now, for nice clothes, when we got our list, it said to bring, and our instructor told us to bring like 1 pair of nice clothes in case we go out. Now, I ended up wearing my nice clothes like 2 days in a row, because we went to the women's part of a wedding one night, and then the very next day we went to the family host dinner, which most people dressed up for that. So if I were you, again, depends on how long your trip is and where you're going to be going. If you have days off, I would bring more than 1 pair of nice clothes. Now, I also ended up wearing my skirt that I had just kind of for everyday use. For skirts, I would bring maybe, I don't know, like 2 or 3, maybe even like, 2 or 3 nice skirts. I would just have 1 for like a really nice occasion, or I ended up usually wearing my skirt just around the house as well. I wore it when we went out on our days off, just because I thought I wanted to look girly, but I only had 1 skirt, so it kind of got annoying after a while. I wore the same thing over and over again, so I'd bring at least 2 or 3. If you're going into a hot climate, I would recommend getting something that's very thin. The one that I have, it's just a stretchy skirt, and it's just literally all the way down to my ankles, and it's just a very thin, light, flowy material, so it just kind of, you know, flows like that. Since we were in the Middle East, we had to have long skirts. If you're in an area that doesn't require, you know, longer skirts, you can always get knee length or whatever, but just having something like this is really nice because it's nice to walk around the house in, it's nice to go out in. And one thing I would do though is if you're gonna wear a skirt like this, like double check that it's not like see-through. I always ended up wearing just a pair of like cotton shorts with it, just to kind of be on the safe side. You never know. So I would recommend bringing at least like 2, maybe 3 skirts of some sort if you're into that. Some girls don't like wear skirts, and that's totally cool, but if you do, bring a few with you. And then I would bring, like, you know, a few different nice shirts. If you're gonna, like in our area we had to have at least like I said, you know, short sleeve length or longer. It may be a good idea to bring like one of the like thinner material, like blousey, flowy type that go like down to here maybe. Or like I just had like a nice scoop, not like a scoop neck, but like right about to here, just a nice short sleeve, just plain purple top. So again, just make sure that whatever you're bringing, it's culturally appropriate for where you're going. So like if we're in the Middle East, you can't wear something, you know, that's like showing your cleavage and, you know, something like that. So just bring a few different nice shirts with you so you can wear them on your days off. You can wear them to nice events. But again, make sure that they're culturally appropriate and that they're, you know, good for whatever weather you're going to be in. So either short sleeve or, you know, a more flowy, looser, lighter top if you're going to wear something that's a long sleeve shirt. Another thing that you can do is I actually had some tank tops that I wore to bed because we could have tank tops in our own room. But then what I had was something like this. And don't mind that it's wrinkly, I'm sorry. But it's just a little cropped sweater. So it just kind of buttons up. It's almost kind of like a, I think they're called boleros. So this one, if you see, it just buttons up in the front like that. And you can just wear this on top of your tank top. It's a very thin sweater material, so I actually was able to wear this out even when it was really warm outside. So that might be something you want to do if you want to just like double up your pajama tank tops. Like if you have, you know, something like what I'm wearing, so it's just like a spaghetti strap and has like the lace on it, so this would be nice for bed, but then you could double this with one of these as, you know, a going out. So that could kind of be, you know, packing less in your suitcase and then, you know, using one of these instead of having more and more shirts. So I would do that for nice, or if you want to, you can always wear really nice pants or something like that. For shoes, for nice out, I would recommend using like a ballet flat. The area that we were in, the roads are very uneven. It was very rocky, so if you had to walk anywhere, it's best to wear flats. I wouldn't recommend wearing wedges or any sort of heels. Especially because one of the nice events we went to, you had to walk up a bunch of stairs. So I just have something like, these are old ones from American Eagle, so they're just ballet flat with a little, you know, bow on there. And this is just something that I've worn in quite a bit, and they'd be very comfortable for me to walk around in, but they still have a little bit of support on them. My roommate had ballet flats, but they were just like the really flimsy kind, so she wore them like once, and then I don't know if she ended up throwing them away or what she did with them, but you know, they end up getting sand and stuff. So I'd make sure at least you have something like that that has support to it. So ballet flats would be a good idea. And again, depending where you are, if you're in a more modern area, you can always wear wedges or heels or something like that. Another thing you're going to need while you're in a hot area is a good pair of flip-flops. Don't mind these because I wore these and they're gross. But these ones I have are from Montego Bay. I got them a few years ago from Payless. And they have like this thatch reed, I don't know, pattern, and they're just like a braided fabric flip-flop. I've actually had these for a few years and they're still okay for me. So just make sure that you have at least, you know, 1 or 2 pairs of flip-flops. I know a lot of people brought plastic ones for shower shoes if, you know, you're concerned about that. But These are definitely like my staple. I wore them, I didn't actually bring any flats with me, I just wore these as my nice shoes everywhere. And if I wasn't wearing my boots, I was wearing these like 24 hours if I could. So just make sure you have a really nice pair of comfortable flip-flops, or, you know, slip-on sandals if that's what you like, because you're probably going to be wearing them a lot, especially if it's, you know, hot and humid or just hot and dry or whatever it is. And make sure that, again, they're not brand new ones, that they're something that have already been worn in, so you're not going to have uncomfortable feet, because you're not going to have a lot of time to baby your feet and, you know, sit there with your feet up, because you're going to be working and working and working, and then you get like one day off and you're walking everywhere, so good flip-flops are a must. And then another thing that I brought with me, in case I didn't want to wear my flip-flops, like sometimes we would go like out on a site tour and I didn't want to have to wear my boots, so I ended up wearing my sneakers, and I just have these Converse sneakers. I don't know, they're just regular Converse All-Stars, size 7 sneakers. So these are really nice. I was able to, you know, get up some mountain terrain in these as long as we weren't doing too hardcore climbing. You can bring them with you. You don't have to. If the boots that you have, if your dig boots are a really good pair and you're very comfortable in them, then I would just bring your dig boots and maybe your flip-flops or sandals, and that should suffice you just fine. But it's just kind of a preference that I have these, which is actually good, because I'll tell you about my boot story in a minute, but I ended up having to use these in the field for a few days, like my last few days. So maybe bring a good pair of sneakers, just a thin, you know, pair like this, so they don't take up much room. Now, considering boots, obviously you're going to need, or at least you should, have a good pair of like hiking boots to take in the field with you when you're on your dig. Pretty much wherever you go, you're going to want some sort of boot with you. Now, the ones that I brought were just an old pair of boots that we had in the house, and I think they were like from middle school. I don't know. It was a really bad idea, because they were just like those Skechers, kind of like the fake Doc Marten ones. And I figured that they would be fine for the dig season, and they were okay. Everything was fine until I would say about, I don't know, 2 weeks to a week and a half before the dig was done, so about halfway through. One day, both of the soles of my boots came apart from the shoe, and they were like horse flip-flop boots. That's what we call them, the flip-flop boots. We actually made an infomercial about it. But anyways, it was horrible. And luckily, one of the workers in our trench, he took my boots for me and like got them glued back together and sewed up together, and that was really nice of him. But they ended up pretty much almost dying, so I had to throw them away like the last week of the dig and just use my shoes. And luckily, I was sick one day, so I didn't have to go out. But in general, you really want to invest in some good boots. If this is what your career is going to be, like mine, I have learned my lesson. I'm going to buy me some nice boots, because if you're going to go on digs often, then you need a good solid pair of boots. I don't really have any recommendations at this point right now, because I haven't bought any, but when I actually do go out and buy boots, I'll do some comparison shopping and kind of give you, like, I'll do a video on boots for going on digs, or just in general, like hiking boots, and then that way I can actually give you some good recommendations and look at reviews and do some more research on that. But dig boots are a must. You need to have good dig boots. Warning, have good dig boots. Okay, now for pajamas, again, it's gonna depend where you're at. Most of the time the digs happen in the summer, so I would just bring a pair of like cotton shorts. Like these are just like the Jersey Sophie cheerleader shorts that I have. These ones are from Champion that I got from Target, and I don't know how much they were because they're a little bit older, but you know, I think they're like $8, $9, $10 at Target, or you can even get them at Walmart for probably cheaper. I would just bring something like that. This is what I wore when I was in my room, but if you're going into the Middle East, you're going to want to be respectful. Like, we ended up staying, both the girls and the boys, on one floor, and we were above our host family. They lived on the first floor, we lived on the second, so the women of the host family would come up to do like breakfast, and they'd come up for whatever reason. So we as girls had to be respectful of their culture, so we had to wear long pajama pants, or I usually wore my long skirt. So I would also bring some long pajama pants. These ones are just from Exhilaration, and you know, they're just, you know, your regular checkered pajama pants. So I'd bring, you know, 1 or 2 pairs. It kind of just depends. I pretty much lived off one pair in my skirt, but these are just so that when you're going out of your room, you put these over your shorts, or you can just wear these if it's not too hot, so that you can still be respectful. So pajamas. And then for shirts, we just had either like the tank tops like I have on now, a spaghetti strap tank top, or then I would just have like either my sweater or you know, a t-shirt to put over it if we're walking out, so you can just wear like, you know, your regular cotton t-shirt to go to bed in. Another thing is, you know, make sure that you bring, I know it sounds stupid, but bring enough bras and underwear. When we were there, we didn't have access to washing machines until like maybe the second to last week, and then finally we were able to like pay like, I don't know, like $8 for a load of like laundry. So if you don't want to have to spend that much money on one load of laundry or multiple loads of laundry, you have to wash them like in a plastic tub, and a lot of times you just don't feel like doing it, so you kind of put it off. So make sure you bring enough like underwear and bras like for a good week or so, because usually you only get to wash in your clothes like once a week, once every 2 weeks. You know, you put it off as long as you can. So just make sure that you're well prepared. And socks too. Make sure that you have a good amount of socks, because you're going to be using them every time you have your boots on out in the field, and your socks might not smell so pretty when they're done in your boots. So make sure you have multiple socks so that you don't have to put rank socks on your feet every day. It's not very fun. Remember the boots that I had that were horrible? They made my feet smell rank, and it was awful. And I ended up throwing away my socks. Almost every pair of socks that I had, I chucked them in the garbage. I'd wear them for a week, chuck them in the garbage. They're not even worth cleaning anymore. Okay, let's see here. Okay. Another thing you're going to want to do, even if you're going to a hot climate, like I said, when we were in Jordan, it was, you know, in the 80s up to 100 degrees sometimes, depending on the day. You're still going to want to bring a light coat and some sweaters with you. Now, because we would actually go out pretty late at night sometimes, like, you know, 9, well, not late for you, but like 9, 10 o'clock at night. Mind you, we woke up at 5 in the morning, and it would get pretty cool there. You know, in the desert it gets cool at night. So I would bring something like a sweater with you. I don't have the one that I had with me. I got one from Forever 20. It's like a Star Wars, like just thin sweater material. So maybe have something like that. Or if you're going to be going out at night and you want to look nice, you know, bring something like this. I cut the tag off this, so I don't know where it's from. It's probably from the thrift store. But, you know, just something like that. Again, all of this is very thin material. So I'd bring like at least 2 sweaters with you. We'd go out sometimes at night with some of the local people and, you know, just talk and get to know each other. So that's always nice to do. So if you don't want to have to put your jacket on over it, you can just wear like a sweater. And then also, you know, bring a light jacket with you. The one that I have here is an AC DC jacket. Just a, you know, zip up hoodie jacket. So something that's just a very light material that if you want to, you can put over your t-shirt at night. Maybe just bring it with you. You know, slung over your purse, or just, you know, tied around your waist, and then if you start to get chilly, you can just put your jacket on, you know, maybe when you're walking back up to the house or something. Or you can just wear something like this sweater that I have. This is just an open sweater. Let me show you. And on the back it's got this skull. So this goes about down to, I don't know, my waist or so. And it's just open. It doesn't have any buttons in it. So you could, you know, maybe wear a tank top like I am now and then have the sweater over it so that you're still being, you know, appropriate. But you have something that's kind of like, again, this is very thin material. So it won't keep you too hot, but it'll keep you warm enough. Oops. Okay. Now, for just the clothes that you're going to be wearing there, when you're out in the field, there's a few different options that you can wear. Where we were, I ended up just mostly wearing like regular t-shirts, so not necessarily this one, but just something like this, a regular, you know, cotton t-shirt, you know, thinner material. This one's like see-through, so I didn't wear this, but, you know, something like that. So that's what I pretty much lived off of, was just t-shirts. Again, pretty much all the clothing that you're going to want to bring, you're either going to want to bring linens or cotton. Cotton's the best material because it will, you know, keep you not as sweaty, you know, it'll help dry faster, and it'll just be a nicer thing. And something that I don't have is like a long sleeve cotton shirt. Those work really well when you're out in the field. Just something that you could roll up if you wanted to. Maybe the kind that have like you can roll up and then like button it. Just like a button down shirt. Those work really well. LL Bean, REI I know has really good apparel. But again, try and make sure that it's a cotton item. And for pants, my roommate and I did also wear regular denim jeans every once in a while. It's not always the best option because it can be kind of hot on you if the denim is kind of a thicker material. So I wouldn't necessarily recommend wearing jeans. Again, the best is going to be to wear cotton pants. I had linen, or I know one of my friends had like I don't know, she has like these REI pants that I don't know if they were cotton or not, but something like that's going to be your best option. One of the pants that I wore was, these are Sonoma Lifestyle Modern Fit weekend pants. So these are a linen pants. They're stretchy, which keeps you comfy, and they just kind of look like this. So they're nice and flowy, and they're very thin, so that kept me nice and dry and comfortable when I was out on the field. Like I mentioned, LL Bean REI has a lot of good outdoor pants. Just speak with someone at the store, tell them where you're going to be going, if it's hot, if it's humid, if it's dry, whatever, and they'll be able to recommend really good pants that would be good in the area for you. So there's that. Okay, some of the last things I'm going to talk about are headgear and purses and backpacks. Now I don't have my backpack with me, but I just wore like my regular school backpack. So really whatever backpack you want, as long as it's a good sturdy one, is going to work. I would bring a backpack with you because you're going to need it on the field, because you might have your clipboards and your trowels and your brushes and your sunscreen and, I don't know, a snack, your, 2 huge bottles of water. So you're going to want something that's going to keep, in a good backpack so you're not carrying everything in your hands or in some like flumpy purse or something. So have a good backpack with you. And then also for girls or even guys, if you have a man purse, I would recommend using a crossbody bag. So as you can see, this is a very long, this is one I actually bought in Jordan, so it's got like these shinies, woo, things on it. It just opens up like this. It has one zipper pocket and then like, the big pocket in there. So I would recommend bringing a crossbody bag just because it's easier. You don't have something over your shoulder that's going to fall off or on your arm, because you could be walking around for a few hours. It's easy to use when you're climbing up, mountains if you want to have your purse with you. It keeps your hands free when you're shopping or doing anything like that. So I would definitely bring a crossbody purse like that, or I have a really small one from Nicole from Target, which I will insert a picture here. So something like that would also work as well, that has more zipper pockets in it. And that's kind of what I would recommend. You might want to bring like a wristlet, those little wristlets with you if you don't want to bring a whole entire purse. If you're just like walking to like the local store or something, like we had a little store next door to our house. So if you want to just bring your money there, and if you don't have any pockets or something, just bring a little wristlet with you. You can always stick that into your purse. Now, the last thing that I'm going to talk about is for your head. When you're out doing your dig, if it's sunny, you do not want to burn your pretty little face or your head. If you're just out there, even if you have lovely hair like I do, and you put it up and you're covering your head with your hair, it really doesn't matter. Your hair is going to get hot, your head's going to get hot, you're going to get burned. So I have 2 different options for you. One of them's a little more specific to my site, but the first thing I would recommend is a hat. Now, you can, I guess you could wear a baseball cap if you wanted to. It's not necessarily going to, cover your ears. It's not going to give you as much shade around your entire head. You have to think about the back of your neck area, especially if you're a boy or a girl with short hair, or even a girl with long hair, because my hair was up pretty much every day. You're going to want to cover that up. So what I did is I just went to, I believe this was Target, and this was in their gardening section. And it's a hat like this. Mine has this little thing for the back of your head. And then it also has, this little thing, which is nice because if you ride in the back of a truck by chance, you don't want your hat falling off. But this one's nice because it has this mesh material for your head to cool. So when you have this on your head, I will show you. Okay, so see, when you have this on your head, it's going to cover all of your ears. It's going to cover, excuse me, the back of your neck like this, even if you don't have this up, which you can tuck it in, you know, something like that. So if you have something like that, it's still going to cover most of your face and your head. And if you have your hair up, like I did sometimes, even if you have it in a bun or something like that, you can still wear your hat. And then it'll still cover most of your head and your hair will be up here, and that's just a good idea. This is just kind of, you know, one that I found. If you can get cotton or canvas or anything like that. But definitely you need to have a good hat with you, something that's going to keep your head nice and cool, you know, not make your head sweat too much. So this was like maybe $12 at Target. So that's really cheap. Or again, you can get it at an outdoor store. I'm sure they're going to have plenty of hats like this. And then the other thing, which we ended up wearing a lot, and that's probably because it was the Middle East, is called a keffiyeh. But pretty much it's just a headscarf, you know, to be honest. But I have two different ones here. The first one is like this. I'm sorry, it's like blinding your eyes with pattern. But it has like the little things. Tassels? Not tassels. I don't know. But these ones, actually, it does have tassels. This one has tassels on it. But what you do with these is you can either wear them the way that most of the men do or the way that the women do. And even as a woman, I wore them, you know, like the man does. So what you do, kind of give you an impromptu lesson here. And again, this isn't going to look gorgeous because I'm not a master at this yet. But, yeah, I did this and the guys would be like, oh, it's ugly, I'll fix it. But anyways, you take it in a triangle form, put it around the back of your head. Okay, kind of let it do that. And then you're just going to take it and make sure that it's even on both sides. Flip it around your head. And then I kind of did a little bit of that. And then I'll show you from the back. You take one side, flip it over. Okay, so flip it over your head. Tuck that in. And then you're going to take it around the back and tuck it in. Alright. And then what you're going to do is take the opposite side. Okay, so let's find that. Take the opposite side. Again, put it around. You're going to take that, kind of just, you know, put that in like that. And then you're just going to tuck it in the back. If I can find it. And go. Okay, and then in the back you're going to kind of have this tail going on. You can just tuck that in like this. And there you go. And that's, you know, probably a bad job, but that's kind of what your keffiyeh is going to look like when you're out on the field. Usually my hair was up, so it looked like that. But if you want, what's nice about these keffiyehs is when you're out doing a dig, you're scooping up a lot of dirt, especially in the Middle East. There's a lot of sand and things like that. So what's nice is you can take the tail of your keffiyeh like this, and you can wrap it around your face like so, and tuck in, you know, the ends of the keffiyeh like that. And then your face is covered up like this. And this, you're still going to be able to breathe through this. If you want, you can just take one of them and just kind of, you know, do something like that. And again, I'm not an expert at this, but, you know, do something like that, and that way your face is covered up. So when you have dirt coming at you, you're not going to be breathing in the dirt. One of our people on the dig, he actually had some lung issues because he was, you know, absorbing a lot of dirt into his lungs. So that's a really good idea, and one of the reasons these would be nice, even if you're not in the Middle East, if you're any place that's going to have a lot of dirt, excuse me, or it's very sandy, I'd recommend getting a headscarf and doing it that way. Or, if you like, you can wear it like the women do, or, you know, what I consider if you're a girl, and that's just, you know, kind of putting it like this, and you ended up just kind of doing one like that, just kind of taking it around like this, and then I just ended up tucking this in and just kind of wearing it like that, and that way it covers up the back, covers up the front, and if you want, you can take it and wear it like this so that it's covering up your face for when you have sand. And this is going to keep your head nice and cool, and it kind of feels nice. And if you keep a little bit like this over your face, it'll also help you with keeping the sun out. So let's get this off my face. Okay, so that's one type of keffiyeh. There's lots of different designs that you can get. This is one that I really liked. It almost kind of reminds me of like a men's tie design. I don't know. So you can get that. They have the traditional red and white keffiyehs, also the black and white keffiyehs. So getting something like that, or just using any headscarf that you have, is a really good idea on a dig, because it'll kind of like get you out of the monotony of wearing your hat. So I think that is everything. Let me check. Okay, that is everything that I wanted to talk about for clothing while you're going on a dig. Again, if you guys have different areas that you're going to be in, if you're going to be in a cold area for a dig, obviously your clothes are going to be different than that. You know, take a look at what your director's list that they give you and talk with students who maybe have gone on the digs in the past. It's always a good idea to speak with someone who's gone in the area that you've gone into, because they're going to have so much more information than what you're going to get on that list, you know, do's and don'ts and experience that they've had. And so just speak with someone about it. So again, comment below about anything that you want to add on that you think that I forgot, or corrections, or, you know, hey, I really like that, or what do you think about this, and I'll try my best to answer them. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you on the next part of the series. Bye everybody!